When producing a short film, there are key conventions to follow. One of these conventions is characters. Most short films use 2 to 3 main characters as there is no time to create detailed storylines. Therefore, fewer characters enable the audience to relate to them in the amount of time that they have. This is clear in both the short films Break Free by Philip R. Lopez and A Song for Your Mixtape by Brandon Zuck. There is only one main character in both of these short films, allowing the feelings which the protagonist encounters to be relatable to the audience. My short film does not conform to this convention as I do not have one main protagonist. My short film B is based on a message and issue within society. I have allowed the audience to become the main character as they are watching, so that they feel targeted and can link to the issue I am presenting. The next key convention is a twist, although not all short films conform to this convention. A twist is important in a short film to captivate and hold the audience's attention, as the duration is not long and it could become uninteresting for the viewer. The short film A Song for Your Mixtape, which I analysed, includes this convention just before the end of the short film. This being that the character the voiceover was talking about was actually dead. The effect of having this twist changes the audience's view on everything the voiceover was talking about in the beginning section. It makes the audience think twice, but also raises enigma codes, making them question how he died. I found the way that the storyline was structured by only giving away the important information at the end of the short film was a good way to hold the audience's attention throughout the whole short film. So I decided to follow this aspect. I did this by revealing the message I was conveying briefly throughout the middle, then having the ending represent my opinion on gender stereotypes. The next convention is the budget. Short films are commonly produced by independent, inspiring directors. This means they have a small budget. To keep this budget low, they commonly use cheap and easy accessible locations and also few actors. The length of a short film is also a key convention. They can be up to 40 minutes, but most commonly around 5 to 10 minutes. I have followed this convention by only using locations which were easily accessible to me, such as the photography studio. The short films which I analysed all had a duration under 7 minutes. My short film lasts 5 minutes, so by analysing a range of different short films with different durations, it enabled me to understand how quickly a story can be displayed. For example, in the short film The Last Daydream by Chris Milk, which has a duration of 1 minute 37, but is able to tell the story of the protagonist's life in that short amount of time. The situation in the film is another key convention, as this is what the audience are able to relate to. For example, using an everyday situation like going to the supermarket, but adapting it in some way to make it intriguing for the viewer. This is evident in all of the short films I analysed, for example, going to a party, breastfeeding, important stages in life, and getting ready. They all have a complex situation and scenario, but are adapted to make them more interesting and unique. I was inspired by this aspect visible in all the short films, as I like the idea of making a simplistic storyline unique, which is what I had hoped to do in my own short film. Todorov's narrative theory is a structure some short films follow. This being 1. The equilibrium where everything is normal, 2. The disequilibrium where a problem occurs, and lastly, a new equilibrium where the problem is solved and everything is back to normal, however a change is still noticeable. This is evident in the short film I analysed, Break Free, produced by Philip R. Lopez. The short film starts and the audience believe everything is normal and a girl is just getting dressed up. The disequilibrium then occurs as the protagonist starts revealing her true identity by revealing her tattoos and removing her makeup. There is then the new equilibrium where the protagonist has changed and physically become her true self. I was inspired by the short film Break Free and found it captivating and original, therefore I made sure my short film followed Todorov's theory of narrative in some way. For example, the beginning shows the equilibrium of children doing what they are supposed to be doing according to their gender. So the boys are doing boyish activities and playing with boy toys, and girls doing girly activities and playing with girl toys. Then throughout the middle of the short film it shows the disequilibrium, this being the children not conforming to the gender stereotypes, leading up to the new equilibrium at the end, that children shouldn't actually have to conform to these gender roles, and they should have the freedom to be whoever they want to be. The common conventions of the drama genre are using real-life situations with realistic characters, portraying a journey or a character's development, including a wide use of social interaction, moving the audience emotionally, including a conflict, having the audience be able to relate to the characters, and then a form of realisation at the end. Once again, all of the short films I analysed conform to most of these conventions. This is represented in the short film Break Free, as it shows the transition of someone going from female to who they want to be and not letting society tell them otherwise, therefore showing the journey of the protagonist. This is also evident in the short film A Song for Your Mixtape, as the audience are let in on how the protagonist feels and go on a journey through how he is coping with the loss of a loved one. The audience are also able to relate to the characters throughout the short film Embarrassed by Jake Dipka. The short film shows how women have suffered for breastfeeding their child in public and been judged by others. It also includes scenarios which the audience could have come across. All of the short films I analysed had meaning and an emotionally strong storyline, which is what led me to come up with my short film and the storyline, and the method that goes along with it. My short film conforms to these conventions in many ways. For example, I use a real-life character, but also my narrative is based on the real issue of gender stereotyping, showing the effect of these roles on children from a very young age. My short film also links to Claude Levi-Strauss's theory of binary oppositions, which is how stories unconsciously reflect values, beliefs, and myths of a culture. My short film shows two opposites, this being how children want to be.
When I grow up, I want to be a farmer.
But in contrast, how they're being told to be.
Can you try and be a bit more ladylike?
The effect of this is raising the awareness of the underlying issue. The audience are shown the variety of ways children are gender stereotyped as they are growing up, from their clothing to the toys and to hobbies. I believe the audience are able to relate to my short film, as by my primary audience being parents, they can relate their children to the ones in the short film. This then develops the realisation at the end of my film that children should be able to be whatever they want to be, and their gender should not stop them. The only way my short film subverts these conventions is the development of a character, as my short film consists of many characters and is not based on any specific one. By my short film being called B, it conforms to the idea of short film titles being more appealing to the audiences, as they are straight to the point. It also connotes the message of children being able to be whatever they want to be without being judged.